Hello everyone, it's Red Gadget here and welcome to another video. Today we're actually doing a tier list and not the way I would do it normally, like I would do it with stats and numbers. And yes, of course we'll do that after on the channel, and I'm preparing a lot of stuff with numbers and stats, so don't worry about it. But today I really wanted to do a tier list based on kind of my opinion, because I have played this season very much. I have had 3 major tops this season and I've played against a lot of decks. I've actually played myself a lot of decks in all kinds of tournaments. And I think I'm getting a very, very good grasp on what's good and what's not. And so to conclude the season 2025, I really wanted to do a tier list to kind of, on a very simplified set of decks, right? I don't want to include a lot of trash decks that are really, there's no point in playing them or even discussing about them. Of course, at locals, you'll catch me playing all kinds of random quick draw piles and stuff, but when it comes to tournaments, this is what this tier list is focused on. So yeah, we got tier 1, which will be multiple decks that are just really strong. The format has been ongoing for a while and we really haven't really found like one best deck. So it'll be multiple decks in this category. Then you got 1.5, which are decks that you should be definitely prepared for a tournament. Tier 2 is like something that's like playable, like you could play that if you want, but honestly, you probably shouldn't, because Edison as a format is super high rolly and super like you get carried a lot by your cards. So if you play worse cards, you're just not gonna see as much of success as someone who's playing like Vayu Turbo and is playing super shit. But like if they drop enough dads, like it's just impossible, right? So yeah, that's kind of tier 2 where like you should really consider like tier 1 or 1.5, but okay, you could play it, right? Maybe not at a major, at locals and stuff. And trash is just like a fun deck that's like, I don't think you should really be playing if you want to win. If you want to have fun, of course, you can play anything, right? You can play a goat deck if you want. So, let's get into X-Sabers trash. It's a bad deck. It doesn't really do much. And you have some power plays, but these power plays, the ceiling that the deck has is not even like enough to compete with like the ceiling of other decks. And you're just playing a bunch of small guys. Like your deck dies to deck dev so hard. Like you play all these like recruiters and whatnot. Like the deck just doesn't do enough. Like it's just outdated. And I think after Edison they get support, they get better. But like it's just really doesn't do enough. So let's do Lightsworns. Lightsworns are not tier 1, but they are definitely tier 1.5. They have won majors. They have topped majors. They consistently do. In fact, it's one of my favorite decks actually, but they're so annoying to play against because usually your opponent has just like one play per turn. They're a super linear deck, and if you get lucky and it's your day, it's literally impossible to lose with this deck. Like if you mill good, you will definitely win, because if you mill like a wolf and then you drop like a JD and then you nuke and then you mill a necro to protect yourself, and then it's just like it's just too much. The format is too slow for Lightsworn when it high rolls. And yeah, it's a deck you have to be prepared for. For example, in Blackwings, you have to side for Consecrated Light for all their things that they put in post side. And it's just definitely one of the strongest decks. Diva Hero, I'd put it in tier 2. I don't think this deck cuts it anymore. It's a very strong deck, but I don't think it has the kind of the consistency and the level that these strong decks have. Like in tier 1.5 and 1, like all of your normal summons in Lightsworns are engine because they mill. All of the Blackwings are engine because okay, you can go to battle, but then also they kind of connect, right, with Kalut, with Blizzard. Diva Hero is just a few engines combined, and I think the only way to have few engines that are combined and make it work when it comes to like hero builds is Hero Frogs, because you have the duplock and then you can wait for your heroes and you can wait for your Caiuses and whatnot. But Diva Hero just expects like to really open crazy and like OTK, or it doesn't really do much, right? It has like a disconnected hand, double Mali hands. Like I don't think this is enough. And we know a true hero, a player that played Diva Hero a lot, is saying that it's just not enough. And if the people who play this deck don't believe in it, then I don't know why you should. Yes. A deck that's been very popular, let's talk about this, is Gladiator Beast. It's been very popular this season in 2025, and I think this deck is extremely strong. And similar to Lightsworn, like that is the problem of this category, right? These decks are so strong when they high roll and when they got it, but when they don't have it, the deck just doesn't do enough. Like if GBs open a few traps and like just a few traps that don't do much, like Starlight Road, Chariot, and then a small guy, like they're really easy to just like blow them out. Same with Lightsworn. If they just open slow, they don't mill, they eat one bottomless on Lila, like it's just so easy to blow them out. But then if they got it right, like trap stun into Geyseris, into tag, into the guy that banishes your stuff from grave, like it's so hard to keep up. So they're definitely staying here. They're a deck that like has proven itself, and I don't think it's tier one. I think it will probably never be tier one just because of the engine. And I mean, they're already playing 3 trap stuns. They're already playing 3 like 2 Starlight Roads, like Book of Moons and stuff. But I don't think this deck will be able to go up. Then we got Fairies, which are just not a good deck. I'm sorry, and just dies to too much, to deck devs, to oppressions, to all the side hate. And if you're gonna play, like, if you want to play Fairies, try it with Lightsworn. Like, if you fuse these 2 decks, right, like 1.5 and Trash, you might get something in tier 2, which is Christia Sworn, and it's a cool deck. Like, it's definitely a cool deck. Yeah, so let's maybe talk about just dragons in general. They're just not that good. I'm sorry. This deck just doesn't do enough. And like again, in Edison, you have to have cards in your hand that you can normal summon almost always. That's why Blackwing is so strong, because all of your cards do something on their own. If you open a red med and like not a conversion, you have a brick. If you open like a Bora and not anything, you summon normal summon Bora and attack, and it can get you there, you know? Like the decks that can normal summon and play in a very simplified, very inconsistent format are the ones that win. Like Hero Beat, for example, right? Like Hero Beat is not good, but like it can sometimes play because you summon Alias Attack or summon Ocean Attack, and maybe it gets you there, but it's definitely not a good deck, and it will also be here. But yes, notice all of these decks, how like you have like, okay, red med, stuff that you can't like summon from hand, like for example, like Christia or things, like you really need like some conditions to be met. X-Sabers have like all small monsters or like super payoff cards that just is very hard to get to basically. Diva Hero has Mallies and stuff, like they don't play all the time. GBs, they just have a normal summon, attack. If it goes through, okay, full combo. Lightsworns, okay, normal summon mill. If it goes through, okay, full combo. You know, like that. That's what I want you to understand here. Then we got, let's say, Hero Frogs. Definitely tier 1. I mean, this deck is super strong. It is on the bottom of tier 1, and some people will tell you that it's not, that it's like the best deck, and I just completely disagree. Because compared to other decks in tier 1, this is a 3 kind of engine deck, right? Like you have the Frogs, you have the Heroes, and then you have the Monarchs. And you really need these 3 engines to kind of come together. I hear so many Hero Frog players say, oh yeah, 3 Miracles, but no Hero. Or like, I don't know, 2 Kaius, but I haven't seen my Frogs. Or like, you know, Blackwing players, they just don't say this stuff, right? Like they say, okay, maybe like, okay, 2 Blizzard with all traps. But like, if you got traps, you're still playing. If you got like a bricked Hero Frog hand, it's a lot worse than like a bricked Blackwing hand, you know? So Hero Frogs, it's strong, but not as much in tier 1, but definitely a strong deck. Machina variants, okay, so it has had success this year. For example, control Machina with, for example, we had like a top, I believe, in the Arbet Berlin. It has had many tops, and also for Arbet Rulers, I believe there was one that topped. But here I also include Machina gadgets, and I think that deck is severely underrated. I also posted a very strong list that I believe of KFC gadgets that I think is stronger than Solidarity gadgets, which is again tier 1.5 and probably bottom of tier 1.5. Like also Machina is here, right? Like these two I'll still think about switching them around, but Machina is at the bottom of tier 1.5, and probably Machina gadgets would be somewhere around here after. So very strong deck. I suggest you to try it. I mean, it does have issues. That's why it's here. But most of these decks in tier 1.5 have issues. Tier 1 really decks, they don't have issues. These issues are solved. And then we got Quick Draw, which is like whatever. I mean, honestly, I think this is pretty trashy. Then we got Blackwings and Vayu Turbo. These are the decks in tier 1 because they just have the most consistency and they have the most high roll. They play that. They play... this thing plays Burial, Return. Blackwings play Whirlwinds. They play like all the like Icarus attacks and stuff. Like really, really two powerful decks. Hero Frog is at the bottom of here. These two, I'm starting to think that it looks like this, but I think Vayu Turbo, okay, hear me out. So Vayu Turbo is a simpler deck to play, 100% than Blackwings, okay? Just trust me on this one. Okay, you got some high roll like situations where you have to do like plays with return, but I think these plays are super like, if you see them twice, you can get it. Like where you do like Brown Egg, you bounce your board, then you bounce theirs, then you like go for a push, and then you make like a Dark End or whatever. Like I don't play this deck. I've done that play like yesterday. I was trying a little bit of Vayu Turbo. So, and when you're not doing that, you're just setting like T setting. You're just going like, okay, Greffer, pitch, attack. If it like, because Greffer is enough pressure, then if like they get over your Greffer, then you have an like Armed Wing play. It's a very simple deck to play. It's just so busted because it has like the deck devs that it can easily pull off. It has all these power cards. And the reason why I will put Vayu Turbo in number 1, not because I think it's a better deck, I think it's an easier deck to play that will give a lot more free wins to someone in a tournament. And based on representation as well, like if you have, for example, like 100 people playing the tournament, 40 people play Vayu Turbo, 20 people play Blackwings. And Vayu Turbo has such high ceiling sometimes, if you just open enough dads and burials, that like one person who just plays kind of badly will just stop because it's just so free, basically, for that person. And if you don't mill good and if you don't draw good in Vayu Turbo, it's definitely worse than Blackwings. Blackwings is much more consistent. But if we're looking for just wins or tops, Vayu Turbo should have more because it's free and many people play it. Well, it's mostly free and many people play it. So just by the numbers, you should see more people in Top Cut playing Vayu Turbo. Even worse players than like Blackwing players. But like good player on Vayu Turbo and on Blackwings, it's rough. It's I think it's pretty even. I did some stats on this actually. Vayu Turbo is slightly favored, I think like by 2%, just because of the hamsters and the Sirocco clapback, but the 2% I think really doesn't matter all that much. So let's just keep it like this. And the Blackwing just beats on Hero Frog. I think it's a very easy matchup. I think you have to learn how to play it. You just can't be committing a lot into their like Monarchs and stuff, so you have to kind of just OTK them. But that's for a different topic. So Machina and Machina gadgets here. And speaking of zombies, tier 2, yes, I mean tier 2 probably better than Diva Hero, but still not like a deck that I think can really compete with today's meta. I mean, we have Beast Mode, who's one of the best players on zombies, and he said like the deck's trash, don't play it. So yeah, I mean, again, like Diva Hero, these are decks that were super popular before, but as the format matured, even the players that were super strong on these decks, like a True Hero on Diva Hero or Beast Mode on zombies, they're starting to drop these decks and play Vayu Turbo. And again, if they don't believe it, why should you? Then we got Amaryllis. I think Amaryllis is a good deck, but honestly, it's just, I don't know, it's like here, it's like in the middle, right? Like, I don't know. When I see someone in Amaryllis, I think easy matchup, but that's because I mostly play Blackwings and it's such a good matchup for us. But I don't know, like maybe I'm just biased because like to me as Blackwings this seems trash, but like it's pretty good against Vayu Turbo, which is the most popular deck. You know, I'll put them at the bottom of tier 2. But they can also brick very much. Like I don't know. I really don't know about Amaryllis. It will be probably here. Here or here. Well, let's keep them here. Let's keep them here. Frogs, regular frog Monarchs. I mean, probably better than X-Sabers. but it's a really linear, like exploitable playstyle we distribute for Monarchs. And this now depends on, okay, on what level you're playing, right? If you're playing against good players, they can definitely exploit that, and like they will not give you things to Monarch. They will not give you any attention until they can OTK you. But on the other hand, if you're playing against bad players, they just like commit a lot, and you can like clap them back with Monarchs every turn, and you're not dead over like 5 turns. Then maybe, you know, like maybe it's strong for your tournament. So, but I think any frog deck like Frog Monarchs could be in tier 2 just because frogs are too strong. And finally, we reach 3 combo decks, which is frog combo like Fishburger TK, Dragon Turbo, and Gigavice. So let's think about this one. When I prepare for a tournament, I prepare for these 6 real decks. Okay, I have a side plan that I sell on my Patreon that you can check in the description. That is kind of for most decks for Blackwings, but really I'm trying to nail down these 6, right? So I when I go into a tournament, I'm thinking, okay, let me really know what I'm doing for these 6 decks, and another two decks, 2 combo decks. I tend to just not prepare for Dragon Turbo because I just don't think it can do enough. I have talked a lot to a Ghost Rider. I have talked a lot to people who play this deck, and they're believers, okay? They really believe in this deck. They think it's very powerful, and it is when it gets going. But just when I play tournaments, I just feel like this deck is just so easy to win against. I'm sorry. It's just like, okay, they have their combo one game. Next game, just go Fossil Dyna, attack, set 5 back row, and they crumble. Like, okay, they can draw into their stuff. I don't know. I think this deck is definitely not as powerful as these two. And I'll put these two in the tier 1 because I really think they can be tier 1. And they're the decks I'm most afraid of. But if we're actually ranking them, I think it looks more like that. I think Gigavice is worse than Frog OTK, and Frog OTK is definitely in tier 1. It's after Hero Frogs, because I think Hero Frogs, again, is more consistent and plays like a more fair game. And it sees more cards throughout the game because you're always like, okay, you're more in the game, right? Frog combo is just like two turn clock, basically. And then Gigavice. Okay, Gigavice is something you should definitely be prepared of. And I think the strength of Gigavice scales with the player. A lot of people throw, but I don't think it does nearly as much as Frog OTK because Substitute is just a crazy card and Lone Fire is just not as crazy as Substitute, okay? It's still very strong, and if you loop it with like a Giga Plant and the Supervise and all that, okay. I mean, there's a game to be played there, but just Substitute is just cracked. And Substitute in itself just put 3 decks into like tier 2, tier 1, and tier 1 just because it's so strong. Dragon Turbo, I mean, I don't want to put it in trash, honestly, but to me, it's like tier 2 or below. Is it better than Amaryllis or X-Sabers? I don't know. I'd rather play versus Dragon Turbo than like Diva Hero. I'd rather play versus probably like Amaryllis. Like, I'd rather play against Amaryllis and Dragon Turbo. So I think here, yes. Like, I just don't see it with this deck. I'm sorry. Like, I am not preparing for this deck at all. And I think if someone sits across me, plays this deck, like, sometimes in this game you just have to hope they break. Like, and they do break most of the times, and or they have like all their decks look the same. Like they play like Threatening Roars, like not Threatening Roars, the what's it called, the Reckless Greed. So if they set like 2 back rows and pass, like they summon their Trooper guy, and they set 2. Like the 2 back rows are not real, and you just like summon a Shura attack over their thing. They take 18, they take another 13 with the Gale or something. You put like a Armor Master in defense. You set your back rows. They try to combo you Judgment or whatever, Icarus, whatever they try, and you just kill them because they're on like 5k and you got a Blizzard or something. Like, I don't think this deck is really a problem, but it definitely can be, right? If they don't brick, it feels like unbeatable. But again, it's a combo deck. That's what it should be doing. So yeah, I think that's mostly it. Again, Vayu Turbo, Blackwing, Hero Frog, and Frog combo are like really here. I wish there was like another tier just for like combo decks, But I don't want to put it above, I don't want to put it below, but they are really like a special types of decks where you can't say they're strong relative to another deck, or you can't say they're weak relative to another deck. You can just kind of like talk about them between themselves. I think this is the order between combo decks, and that's why I just abandoned Dragon Turbo. I just don't think it does enough. And if you fall between like a certain threshold as a combo deck, it invalidates you, right? Like there's decks that can do so much, like combo decks that can do like so much, like Frog. There's this like Frog combo deck with like a symbol of heritage and stuff. But if it doesn't do that consistently, then it's just a bad deck, right? I think Dragon Turbo is definitely much better than that, but again, like I'd rather play versus it than Diva Hero, which I think says a lot. And yeah, these two are like this is the order of the combo decks. But I think if we were to like try to compare them to other like fair decks, it would look something like this. But in any case, this was my like no cope tier list, and I do think it's right. I do think it's pretty correct, and yeah, I'm really a believer in Machinas. I think GBs and Lightsworns, they have proven themselves to be 1.5 contender, but I think the GBs lack some deck building innovation, and Lightsworns, they just sometimes are like an RNG deck that's just, you know, they don't play as consistently as tier 1 decks. And if you're not as consistent, at least be broken when you get like some of your cards, which is, for example, Frog combo in this range. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, let me know in the comment section what do you think about this tier list. I know it can be polarizing, and I know some of these might be your favorite decks, but I'm sorry. I mean, this is just my opinion and my experience. And yeah, so I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.